There are days when I feel like I'm drifting. I'm different. I'm me. Why do I have to be me? Why not someone else? I am an introvert. It's an innate preference for a less stimulating environment, and it's a part of me, a strength I embrace. But when all your life you're being presented with outgoing celebrities and the energetic, loud classmates your teacher wants you to be more like, people who put themselves out there, when you are told, when you are shown that the ones who seem to succeed are the ones who are able to command and inspire others simply through the sheer force of their personality. When these are the role models you're presented with, it isn't hard to see why so many of us want to change who we are. When you can't seem to find anyone who's like you just can't, regardless of the advice to just be yourself, it just simply isn't enough to stop that feeling of inadequacy from always hitting you right here. Because I'm not alone in feeling these things. Studies show that a third to half of all Americans are introverts. Considering that America is one of the more extroverted nations, here in Korea, the number would be definitely higher. Yet despite what these numbers show us, we still seem to think that introverts are the odd ones out and that extroverts, we should strive to be more like them. Think about it. That's 1 to 2 out of every 3 people you know, your friends, your partner, your family, who are being told by society that their reflective and thoughtful, more deliberate nature is something of an impairment, a disadvantage to be overcome. Because of this, many introverts end up believing that they have to pass off as an extrovert in order to succeed, and this causes feelings of never fitting in. I tell you this today because these feelings of alienation, of being alone and different, are often a result of being presented with the wrong role models. And so instead, we need to learn to look in the most unexpected of places for our role models. So what are role models even supposed to be? When people ask, who is your role model? Who inspires you? They always ask that as if there's only one answer. Because within this question of who inspires you or who your role model is, people still expect your role model to fit this, to conform to to those who possess society's characteristics, society's ideal characteristics. And so we're pressured to answer in a way that conforms to these set of preconceived ideas, and we're pressured to be who they want us to be. And so we fall into a knotted web of societal expectations that contradict our own true goals, feelings, and dreams. Expectations that try to persuade us into becoming something we're not. As a kid watching Disney princess movies, I could never really find much inspiration in the female characters, many of whom, such as Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, really in the end just found themselves needing to be rescued by a man or marrying a prince to be happy. And because of this, these movies that reflect the culture Disney has created, little girls are expected to be princesses. But while we've recently started to throw away this damsel in distress cliche, nowadays we box women in a new sort of characterization. We believe that they have to be more like the feisty and outgoing characteristics of these movies like Brave. So, besides Disney princess movies, I know the conventional belief is that role models have to be actual famous people, and not to mention rich and celebrity status, but in reality we are surrounded by potential role models, not just front and center but behind the scenes, not just reality but stories, not just people but words. And I was once told that the best role models are the ones who make us see the possibilities within ourselves. So by that definition, when I say role model, that could mean real or fictional. That could mean Gansey and Blue from the Raven Boys. It could mean Artem Spell. It could mean Alina from Shadow and Bone, or Elizabeth Bennet, or Jean Louise Finch, or characters from children's books, or young adult literature classics, or from actually all of these books. And so, when we realize that we can redefine what a role model means to us, we realize that there's a whole world out there of unexpected little pieces of inspiration. Because by that definition, the word role model could mean my parents. It could mean that quiet stranger we met in Japan who walked us all the way from the metro to the hotel instead of turning away the moment we asked him for help. And it could mean the last few lines from a poem by Margaret Shire, by Warsaw Shire, Or it could be Margaret Hamilton shown posing here in this iconic photograph, who worked day and night on the code that would allow Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin to land on the moon and still come back. My friends may not know who Margaret Hamilton is. They may not know Worcestershire and her poetry. They may not know that quiet stranger or know what my parents mean to me, but that's okay, because the best role models are the ones who make us see the possibilities within ourselves. The other day, I watched a debate round on the internet, and I came across a girl who had a very distinct debating style, and I'd forgotten about her for a while until I accidentally came across her again on the website of the school I was researching. And within minutes of reading her bio, she had become my inspiration, because not only did she have the self-discipline to teach herself coding or build her own apps within a few short months, but she could handle being a competitive athlete with being a lab research assistant. And besides that, she, as she clearly put it, she procrastinated on math homework too. So this brought some sense of genuine realness to who she was as a person. And somehow from that, despite finding her in the most random, unexpected of ways, she had become cemented as one of my role models. Because of her, I realized that it didn't matter whether there were people out there who were better than me or people who wanted me to change. Because of her, I realized that I could still accomplish my goals if I put in that effort. So these are the last few lines from a poem by Worcestershire. You are terrifying and strange and beautiful, something not everyone knows how to love. To me, this poem means that we don't have to force ourselves to be what society thinks we have to be. We are no longer limited by what society thinks a role model is, and because of that, we can be whoever we want to be. When we realize that we can be whoever we want to be, when we realize this, then we know that we are not alone, and we can be unique, and we can be us. So, keep your eyes open. Look for people, words, and ideas who inspire you, not just for those who society thinks are the best role models. Because who knows? Inspiration might just be around the corner. Thank you.